What's going on, everybody? No, seriously, what is going on? I mean, this past week in wrestling, I feel like we can't have nice things anymore. So, what's up, everybody? Welcome to WWE, the people, the podcast for the fans, by the fans. I'm Ted Terzansky. Joining me is Triple J Joe JG,
Hello.
Frank Gerhardt from Geek Spot News,
Stop.
Andy Terzansky, my brother, and Danny No Go, Danny Nagowski. So, guys, why do I start off with what is going on? So
What is going on?
I feel like the Bloodline story has been ruined, but I don't know if technically this is Triple H giving his Aaron Rodgers moment. Everyone relax. So I don't like 5-on-5. I don't see the need for it because you had old Bloodline versus new Bloodline. But starting off with Raw, so they asked Seth Rollins, which is like it doesn't make any sense because they hate each other. But I guess Triple H has something brewing. But what do
It
you guys think?
it makes a little bit of sense if you go all the way back to their history and you look at what they're trying to do with Roman. Roman is slowly making amends in certain ways for his past we'll call them transgressions. He's slowly making amends. Him and Rollins were part of one of the biggest factions at the time, and they went this way. Having them come back together from a story standpoint makes a little bit of sense, but at the same time, it makes no sense because after WrestleMania, that should have closed the book on that whole Rollins Roman thing. There shouldn't be any more. I don't like having Seth added to this match personally.
It's circling the wagon, in my opinion.
And I don't want to talk too much about it because we are going to cover SmackDown, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I think something else is going to happen, and I'll mention that when we go to SmackDown. Oh, that's not what I think either.
so there's the Bloodline segment and Sammy. I mean, good for Sammy, but Gunther versus I think Gunther versus Damian Priest is I think that's starting to cook a little better.
It's cooking because Damien's not afraid of him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of understand why they did Cody versus Gunther at Crown Jewel and made Gunther lose on Gunther's side of things now. Now you built Gunther all the way up, and now that mystique of Gunther being indestructible was shattered. So now people are a little bit more on his level. Damien cooked him on the mic on Monday. Um, I don't understand the Cody part of it, and Cody supposedly not being part of Survivor Series makes zero sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think
That
that's
that
coming on
KO thing is
Friday.
happening. Yeah.
It, okay, but it's not.
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens isn't going to beat him for the belt. Everybody
No.
knows that. So, but having others indestructibility shattered at Crown Jewel makes more sense now for Damien and the way they let Damien's character is going up now that he's away from Judgment Day. He's looking better. He's more confident. I think he looks great. And I
What do they call him in Rhea now? The something
know
about the
so
They're done.
they were the Trouble Twins, but they both
Terror Twins.
they
Terror
kind of
Twins.
Terror Twins. They went separate
They
ways. They're not going to be now. They were together at
they
the
were just they were just on UFC last night, announced as the Terror Twins.
right.
Oh yeah, and then the other thing that doesn't make sense to me, I don't mean to quickly change, but do we know why Raw is taped this week?
Yes, the holidays. They're
Okay.
they're pre-taping. They just announced a whole bunch of SmackDown pre-tapings because they're trying to give the talent more time off during the holidays.
That's nice.
Vince didn't give any shits about holidays.
Ah.
Triple H
Mhm.
cares about the people now.
So okay, so I guess they filmed two shows in one locate in the same
Yeah.
location.
Yep.
So did anyone follow on X see any potential spoilers of any
No,
potential
I
I
don't even have
saw
Twitter.
I saw a couple things, but I didn't see like what happened. As soon as I see like it says spoiler double taping, I just swipe,
Mhm.
swipe, swipe, swipe.
I don't want to
Because
say
I just like, that's the one thing about the social media era that I don't like is the tapings and the spoilers and stuff like that. So I try to avoid them really.
Same.
Well, are they done like Finn and Damien, or is that like on hiatus?
It's there, but it's not. Like Finn keeps mentioning them, but
Because that would be a crummy way of ending it. Because
Well, I think they'll eventually come back to it, but it looks like they're trying to cook something between Dominic and Damien. Or
I think you're gonna have. I think the end of the Judgment Day is gonna happen at Mania.
I could see that.
I think they're gonna build off that and let it end at Mania.
Or they're going to have Finn branch off and make his own thing and leave.
Yeah, Judgment Day is becoming the NWO now.
Really?
Like everyone and their mother's joining it.
Yeah.
well, it looked like it sounded like Carlito was on his way out, but I guess I feel like they have no idea what to do with him.
No,
Yeah, I heard something's brewing for Carlito.
maybe he'll fight Hulk Hogan at Mania. There you go, Dan.
But
I love Carlito.
But
He's awesome.
I'm not going to provide any spoilers, but it does look like that they're finally going to fix the women's division.
Right.
Because right now you have Liv and Raquel going against the
Bianca and Jade.
Bianca and Jade.
Jade.
Why can't I think of her name?
We just said it, and you still couldn't remember it.
Listen, it's been I've been go all morning, so I'm on autopilot right now. But it looks like that's going to be fixed, and you watch on Monday, you'll understand why.
Who's Bianca's tag partner, Ted?
June Cargill.
Why am I friends with this guy?
I have little to no interest in the women's war game match this year. I think it looks like a dud. They did not build it right.
Yeah.
It hasn't been built out. They're doing other really great positive things for the women's division. This is looking to be an awful, awful dud.
I think what they should have done for the women's War Games match is have a classic Survivor Series match and not have a War Games match, because I felt like the Bloodline War Games match should be on its own, and then they could have did the original Survivor Series match, the elimination match. I think that would have because a lot of the women in there are actually they're singles fighters, Bianca and all that stuff, and it could have really did a lot more for the storyline by having a classic Survivor Series match. But I missed the Survivor Series match.
Let dog out.
I agree with that.
I miss the old Survivor Series matches, but I don't miss how they used to do it in the original. I don't know if you guys remember, there used to be only like 5 matches on Survivor Series, and it was all Survivor Series matches.
And that was the one where each person was eliminated.
Yeah. It was like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah,
I think it was 6 people actually, if I'm right. I think it was either 5 or 6 people, and it was an elimination. But I mean, they made it like a novelty thing every year, and then they started like making it where that match.
It was Raw versus SmackDown.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was like, but I think what they should have done was War Games match one, whether it's the male or female. This year it's the male, the Bloodline match, and then the female one should have been an actual Survivor Series match. Because you think about it, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I was like, you think about it, like especially with like Jade and Bianca, if they are ever going to start planting the seeds of any kind of disconnect and everything like that, you can make those angles in that. Not to mention, if you really wanted to have some fun with the Survivor Series match, an actual Survivor Series match, you could have had Tiffany at some point, involved, and Nia involved, and some sort of cash-in happen right there. You know what I mean? With all that chaos going on. I thought that would have made it more interesting. But
what is the women's? Who's in the match this year?
It's all those tag team people, right?
It looks like it's going to be Liv and Raquel with Nia and Tiffany versus women's tags, Naomi and Io Sky.
I love Io, like dude. She's so good.
She is, and she should win the belt. She absolutely should beat Nia, whatever the hell her name is, for the belt.
I think you got it. What's the story with the women's United States title? Who's in that match?
It's a tournament right now.
All
It's
right, it should be either Chelsea or what's her name? What's her name's girlfriend or
Bailey.
wife?
Uh, Bel-
Uh,
Bailey.
nah,
That's SmackDown.
I would let Bailey. Bailey, no, I think this has to go to somebody fresh.
But it looks like the women's Survivor match is only 4-on-4 right now.
Which is what I was going to say about the Bloodline match. Why do you have to make it extra?
I agree.
They have to make it extra because of the surprise of who's going to be the 5th member of the OG team.
Yeah, but like by going this route, I guess because Sammy's not technically the Bloodline. You know what I mean? I get it, but
no, but he was there through the best part of their story.
No, I get it, but like I'm just saying with like bringing Bronson Reed in and everything like that, like which I think is cool because he kind of looks like he's part of the Bloodline until he speaks. But at the same time, it's just like I felt like this should have been Sammy makes sense because of what storyline came before, but I think it should have been family oriented only. Like don't bring Cody in, don't bring Seth in. It should be if you want to bring somebody extra in, bring them from the outside. There's you know what I mean? And obviously there's rumors of what's his name, the other Bloodline member coming in.
Yeah, let's just jump back to the women's division. I do think it's going to be 5-on-5.
So who are they going to add on each side? They're going to have
Charlotte and Becky.
No,
Charlotte, I
don't want to. I saw some of the spoilers.
Gotcha.
And I'm not gonna say.
Oh, Ted, come on! You can't say I have a feeling it's gonna be this, and you already know.
He's the host, but can we boot him?
Yeah, get out of here.
Andy, take over.
God, it's like watching the end of the Titanic before the watch. Oh man!
Well, we already knew what happened at the end of Titanic.
You read the back of. You just skipped over the book and just opened up.
All right, so the women's match is going to be 5-on-5.
Oh, no wonder he's amped up. He's got a large iced coffee.
Now, look, I don't know if it's going to be 5-on-5.
Oh no, you can't take it back.
Hold on, wait,
the genie's already out of the bottle.
Hold on. But I do know who's going to be in it.
Paul Heyman, we know.
Is it R-Truth?
I love R-Truth. He's amazing.
Don't tell me because I don't want to know.
Yeah, we already know it's going to be 5 because you said it, but it's all right, buddy. We forgive you.
It was a nice backtrack.
But you know what, though? If you really think about it, how many people who are wrestling fans have looked at the spoilers and saw it already?
I normally do.
Not me.
I'll be honest.
This is my brutality.
We started playing Xbox on Monday nights, and they had a couple of like the tapings. I was like, I don't have to worry about the highlights. I could just look at it on the day after on Tuesday and see what happened, not miss it. That's the thing. My favorite thing that happened in the past 2 weeks happened on Friday. I want to see. I wonder if JJ and Frank can tell me what part I love.
I didn't watch Friday.
So
I was going back and forth on Friday, so I didn't.
I saw it later
before we jump back to Friday. Just jump back to Raw.
Yes,
I didn't see Braun Breaker's response. I guess he said no because they said it on SmackDown. But
yeah,
I didn't. Did they show a camera angle where he said no?
No,
it was
implied
and just them talking. But I don't think you heard anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know he came up to him and asked him, and he's like, "I'm listening," and then that was that.
Yeah. So that's where I originally thought that Braun was going to be the 5th man because when we said, "Yeah, I got a minute," I'm in. So
that wouldn't have been bad.
Because that's why I thought. Because do you remember when he and Jacob Fatu were staring each other down? That's where I thought that was going to cook, and that's where I thought maybe Paul Heyman, the Wiseman, he's got a new client, Braun Breaker.
Would have been hilarious if they had brought Dean Ambrose back in for the new Bloodline.
He just signed a new contract.
That would
be
funny.
Listen, he is so terrible without the WWE's help. He is so bad.
Dude, AEW, he just looks like a drunk.
Did you guys catch the again, not to talk about Friday, but did you guys catch on Friday? I think it was Friday, right? Was it Friday or was it Monday? Where they did a little Easter egg kind of like a bash at AEW. Yeah, because it was Cody. It was Cody talking to
Nick Aldis?
Nick Aldis. And Nick Aldis basically said, like, you know how hard it takes to get here. And and the reason why I couldn't have him here XYZ is because, if I allow this to keep going on, He's like that. It said the inmates would be running the asylum like that, making nods like that. I was like, ooh, I was like, that's clearly an AEW like.
Oh
little,
yeah, 100% a jab.
yeah, yep. Because he's
All
like,
right.
that's what he said. We're not that kind of business or something like that, where the inmates run the asylum. I was like, ooh. I was like,
Great.
okay.
So jumping to SmackDown. So I actually thought Friday was a really good episode of SmackDown. I really enjoyed it. And again, we spent a lot of time talking about the Bloodline stuff, but I think it's pretty clear that you're going to get Kevin Owens and Cody at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, so there we have it.
I
And
mean,
then
it can't be worse. It's got to be better than their last match because now you'll get the full KO instead of like a reserved KO who's hesitant on doing stuff. And if there's one thing I've learned watching Cody Rhodes, he could take a beating really well. He is a champ that
Watching you.
takes a beating.
you
I know
think
where you
like you
live.
think like a no disqualification street fight type of deal?
Um, so they keep harping on this. The pile driver's been banned. The pile driver's been banned. It's been all over social media. The commentators,
Which most wrestling places have actually got rid of pile driver, but they
Except for
found it. They
AEW.
found they found a new way of doing it that's not as
I mean, the Undertaker's been
dangerous.
doing it for years, and it wasn't banned. He just did it a different way. But they've been so,
Which is how they probably figured it. He
right.
probably is the one.
But
Yeah.
they've zeroed in on it so much, and it's such a focal point. And there were I saw a lot of social media posts that were saying that Kevin Owens botched that pile driver. Actually, he didn't. It was
No, he didn't. He
perfect.
protected him.
He was so protected. It was really well done, and I like the fact that they're harping in on it. So it only has to show you that they're going to make that part of this.
Isn't the pile driver how Draws got?
Yes.
No. His was a power bomb. A power bomb gone wrong.
It was Austin. Austin from Owen Hart.
Yeah,
right. And then who was the one?
Power bomb.
And then what was the one with was it D'Lo Brown or something like that?
Yep.
Did something?
Yep.
So what happened was D'Lo had draws up and he went to go him the power bomb, but his shirt ripped, so he lost him and he just like dropped him.
Yeah.
I know he felt horrible after that.
I've only seen that one time, and then you can't find it anywhere.
He said it.
He's like, him and Draws did that move a million times.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean?
And Draws just died too recently.
Yeah, what, 2 years, 3 years
Yeah,
ago?
something like that. Sad.
Yeah, D'Lo took that one.
Oh yeah,
bad.
absolutely. I would feel awful too.
Before we go full-fledged into the bloodline, can I just say that the Motor City Machine Guns have been such a breath of fresh air as
They needed it, man.
Yeah.
They needed it.
I was getting ready to bring that up, and then
my God, have they been fun to watch?
Yeah,
because that tag division has been trashed probably since peak Hardy Boys.
Well, that's
Edge
why
and Christian and
that's
Dudley.
why it was smart to give them the belts right away. Obviously, they're seasoned vets, so it's not like they have to work their way up. They were already kind of like outside legends, almost like the tag team version of AJ Styles when he came over. Everybody knew, even if you didn't know who they were, you knew who they were. And I felt like with building storyline and stuff with it, it makes total sense right now.
And we were getting teased the breakup of DIY.
And we got that. We knew that was happening.
we knew that was coming.
Yeah, I kind of like.
This is breakup number 3 or 4. I think they got to figure out that they just got to stop getting together. It's just not working out.
He's not a fun babyface. He's so much better as a heel.
100%. Yeah.
Big time.
I mean, and what's his name? It's funny because what's his name? Who's the other one?
Gargano.
Again, I don't know. I couldn't think of his name. I always get him mixed up with the radio host. But
two very, 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 very different people. One's like and one's not.
I know, but the name just throws me off. But it's just funny because his wife, is clearly like always she's a better heel, and it's like he's a better baby face. You know what I'm saying? So it's like funny, like
she's so pretty in person, right, JJ?
She is, yes.
Gorgeous.
I follow I follow their YouTube channel. They're very good.
We saw
they're
them
big nerds like us.
We saw them at that comedy thing we went to before WrestleMania, me and JJ, and she came out and Johnny Gargano came out and Truth came out and Mark Henry was there and they were hilarious. Mark Henry is just a filthy animal.
Yeah, dude. Very. Yeah, you could see she was kind of like she didn't know what
Well,
to say.
he was doing stand up, and his stand up jokes revolved around the men's urinal. So it was just
Right.
it was completely out of left field.
A lot of sex jokes from
Uh,
sexual chocolate.
a lot of sexual chocolate.
But
Anyway, sorry.
Oh,
no,
hi,
no,
Andy.
you're good. So I mean, yeah, the
We're
tag.
building the anticipation of the bloodline thing. We're
Yep.
dragging it out like Drake Paul did with Mike Tyson.
And oh yeah, and Shinsuke Nakamura is back.
Who?
Yeah.
That's my X factor for Friday. That's my favorite part. He came back as like Anakin Skywalker,
Yes, he did. He had the robe on and everything.
but he had
So
like he almost had the Knights of the Old Republic makeup on.
Finally a decent opponent for LA Knight.
Yeah, and I hope
Yeah.
I hope Shinsuke wins.
I think he will.
Yeah, I think they were about to fire him,
I think so too.
and I think this will be his. I
You
don't
think they're
like.
about to fire who? Shinsuke?
Shinsuke.
Yeah, he's been
Why?
off. Well, he was
Because of
over
the
in
Japan thing.
He was over in Japan, and they nixed India Hartwell out of nowhere. Like she was taping a show, and they fired her like a day later. She was
Yeah,
in
Baron Corbin too. It was just so random.
Yeah.
Now I don't hate the Shinsuke thing.
Nah.
I don't hate him.
Well, I mean, you need something for LA Knight. I mean, because I just feel he had it's like Cody. He hasn't had a decent opponent.
I agree.
And with Logan Paul now in the crosshairs of Mike Tyson, he's not going to be wrestling anytime soon.
Well, he just had a kid or something like that too, right?
Well,
Logan Paul.
Logan
Yeah.
Paul. Yeah, well, Logan Paul will probably show up at Rumble.
He possibly
It
could.
wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, that's possible. I don't know if it was like a fake or if he was wearing some kind of a suit, but there was a picture of him with his spouse, pregnant, but he's got like I don't know if he either let himself go or
Oh yeah, I saw that. It was him like doing a YouTube video. He's got to make money somehow.
Yeah, so I was just like, well, he's got some work to do if that's how he looks. So main event time, guys. So
Oh, it didn't show up. I thought that little chat thing would work. It didn't work.
Vertigo from Danny fucking going sideways. Way.
well, that's why I feel like this Bloodline storyline is going. It's going sideways right now because
Nice
you see-
segue. That was
Yeah.
good.
thank you. So out of nowhere comes Bronson Reed. And
Well, no, hold on. Back up. Not out of nowhere. It was they did talk to him. It's not like you randomly got like Virgil or something like that.
Well, they talked to
joining.
Seth on Monday, so it's logical that but also Solo talked to Seth. But then again, that makes sense because Seth insulted Solo. So okay, talk to Bronson and then now Bronson's part. So I guess how do I put this? I guess you have so the OG Bloodline's got Sami Zayn as their honorary Unus. And then the new Bloodline, I guess, has Bronson Reed as their honorary Us.
Well, they didn't go that far and kind of give him any kind of a title. At least Sammy had that going back a year plus. And Sammy is now he's more than an honorary. Now he's full-fledged, right? So
Right.
the Sammy part of it, like we said earlier, makes sense from a story standpoint. Plus, I'm really, really, really glad he's involved because it keeps him away from winning any more titles right now.
Thank God.
That's a huge plus to me.
It's a win-win.
But I don't think it's going to be Seth Rollins. Now, maybe you
I
saw
don't think so
spoiler
either.
and you didn't. You're
No.
playing-
That the only thing I looked up was the women's thing. That's the only thing I know about.
I think, given the end of SmackDown, it's going to be one of two people that were rumored before, but I think that'll gain traction going along. I don't think it's going to be Seth.
I don't think it's going to be Seth. I think it's going to be either. I'm going to say one of three people.
I'm
Frank?
pointing at JJ.
Go ahead, JJ. Who would go?
No, I'm pointing at JJ. That's one of the people I think it's going to be.
Oh, okay.
Your background.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Punk,
Punk is a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah.
Or Lesnar.
Paul Heyman guy. That's two of mine.
And
I only
number
two.
3, and this is the least likely. I think it's going to be The Rock.
Ryback.
Hey, it's the big guy. I'm back in the bloodline.
Do you guys think
I think it could.
do you guys think the bloodline story? I mean, I know Tamina's not in there or anything like that, but don't you think they should have at this point got the females involved who were part of the bloodline? I felt like that could have really helped expand some of the female side of the stories as well. Like Nia is part of the bloodline. Tamina is part of the bloodline.
Yes.
You know, like that, it would have been perfect to set.
But
and
she's
also
still on the job?
Well, Tamina's not like I don't think she's involved much, but I think she's still part of WWE in some shape or form. But even if she came back just for this, because they tried to turn Tamina into a babyface years ago. Yeah, you're good. And like obviously she was in and out, she got hurt and everything like that. But I just felt like it'd be a great way to have Nia part of the new bloodline because she's a heel. So and then you could have just brought Tamina in as like kind of like but I think it just could have helped the female storyline by including them into the bloodline story.
Tamina is still signed to WWE.
That's what I said, yeah, but she's not an active wrestler.
From the roster because they don't have anything for it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I think so. I guess we're gonna talk about the very, very end of SmackDown, the big oh my god moment.
Yes.
So when Roman finally went to call Paul.
Oh, you mean where Jay also botched the script? Yo, you got make the call. Make the call. If you watch it, Jimmy's like, look, you see Jimmy go like, motherfucker, dude, you had one job
One
to do.
I saw a lot of people trying to say that. So when he called Paul Heyman, and the number was disconnected, and people are going, but remember when they smashed his phone? That doesn't make a number disconnected, idiots. That doesn't make a number disconnected. If you smash someone's phone, the number will still work. It won't go to this line has been disconnected.
So what do you think that was about then?
I think Paul Heyman separated himself from everything. He took such a beating and no one came to save him. And Roman was down and in the dumps. And I think this is really, really good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
The way they brought Punk back last year is the way they're going to bring Heyman back this year. Like they brought Orton in as the secret fifth man and spoiled it 2 weeks before the show.
So when they don't have that fifth member and they're waiting, you're just gonna hear, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. They're gonna start the match and they're gonna go, we'll just go 4-on-5. We can do this. They're gonna get their butts kicked the whole time. And a quarter of the way through the match, you're going to hear, ladies and gentlemen, and out he comes. If he comes out with The Rock, this takes the story in a whole different direction that I will be.
I just wouldn't
see
if he comes out with The Rock, and clearly it's going to be at one point The Rock's going to turn on the OG bloodline.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think,
how do they have Paul Heyman become heel Paul Heyman with this after everything the new bloodline has done to Paul?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because all the new bloodline stuff, the physical stuff that happened to Paul was with the new bloodline. So how is he supposed to come back and now he's going to praise this new bloodline after they beat the shit out of him and threw him in a table?
It could be that's why he's turned, because they beat the shit out of him and he's afraid. So maybe he runs with them for a little while, but the same way he kind of ran with Lesnar, but was still interacting with Roman, and we get kind of a little bit of a repeat of that, but better. I don't know. I can't see Heyman coming out and actually siding with them. The pop will be him coming out to save Roman and the OG bloodline. That's the pop.
Or do you think they set it up as it's Seth, and then the day of, like, Seth gets beat up and he can't come out,
and Paul's got to make a call in a favor, because remember,
and that's where Punk makes the most sense.
At one point, he called Punk and asked Punk for help in the ring.
Right?
He pleaded with him. So there is a line to Punk right there. There's also a line to Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
Lesnar comes back and can challenge for the title because he wasn't allowed to challenge for it when Roman had it, right?
Right.
Now maybe I would love to see Brock Lesnar destroy Cody and take the belt from him, but I don't think that's going to.
I would love to see.
Or
I would love to see Lesnar face Bronson Reed.
That'd be a good match too.
Cena.
That would be decent. Cena.
I don't think Cena comes back for that. He's coming back for the Rumble.
Rumble, yeah.
I think
Cena's
I
coming
think
for
Cena's
Randy.
good. I think Cena's going to challenge Gunther first. Then he's going to come for Randy.
I think Cena beats Cody at WrestleMania, and then Cody beats Cena in his final match for the title back.
I think Cena's going to get the Intercontinental title before he retires.
He wants to get the Grand Slam.
Yeah,
I think
but I also.
But you're really going to do that? Are you're going to do that to Braun Breaker?
Because it'd be believable.
I'd rather Cody break the record than have the Grand Slam.
Yeah,
I mean, Cena break the record. Sorry.
Right? No, I get it. Yeah.
So,
and that's coming from Cody and a Cody fan and a Cena fan. So
hashtag anyone but Cody.
I would like to see a 9-year-old boy pin Cody.
Whoa!
Out of the audience.
We've already seen that for the tag team championships.
Yeah, that's been done.
For the world championship, yeah.
You know, it'd be cool if Danny's kid goes in and beats Cody. Like, you cost me my leg, and he turns heel on Cody.
That
I mean, Cody did send him a $700 belt with his, so
he wanted the $800 belt though.
Yeah, exactly.
He wanted the one that said Mama Rhodes on it.
Yeah.
Let him whip Cody with it. Let him come out with The Rock and pin Cody. I would be all for that.
Daniel?
Yes. He needs to finish his story.
For those tuning in for the first time, you probably have no idea what we're talking about. So just to give a little bit of context, Danny's son got injured right before WrestleMania in the parking lot before we were about to go in for WrestleMania.
He got jumped by Cody.
So he messed up his knee right before WrestleMania, and then he ended up missing WrestleMania. So they reached out to Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes sent him a bunch of goodies.
Yep.
It was Goldust. I did it for Cody. I did it for the fans.
I really am hoping Dustin comes back to WWE for a little bit.
I don't think he's gonna. But
I know. I just would like him to. I would like
him
and his brother to have like a little
something
thing.
I'm just reading now that makes a little bit of sense. Roman abandoned Heyman after WrestleMania, technically. Heyman pleaded with Roman to come back and help him, and he never returned. He let Heyman be destroyed. Heyman has always had 2 phones. One for Roman, one for The Rock. What if The Rock does manipulate Heyman into coming back and being his wise man? He has history with Dusty. He has that swerve. Heyman doesn't want the cheers. Heyman wants the boos. He thrives under being a heel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
more fun.
I agree.
I would absolutely love to see Heyman come back with The Rock and direct the downfall of Roman at War Games. That would be a great ending to me. No 5th man.
Mm-hmm.
Heyman comes out looking like he's going to make the save, and he brings out The Rock, who destroys Roman.
But it just ends in like a no contest thing.
Or it just yeah.
Or there's
almost like when Lesnar teamed with Cody, and then it just ended up with Lesnar beating the shit out of Cody.
I mean, that leaves a window open for the potential chance of how to make CM Punk a real heel is if CM Punk came back as Heyman's guy and attacked Roman.
Or I'm sorry, I'm cooking right now.
They're cooking that for. I think they're cooking that for Seth.
Heyman comes back, Rock, as the 5th man for the original Bloodline, and The Rock does the turn.
That's what I said in previous episodes.
I like that so much more. I didn't think about it. I didn't believe it to happen before, but now that makes sense. The Rock is back there manipulating and saying, you bring me out, I'll come out and team with them against Solo. Rock hits the ring. Boom, he destroys everyone.
Of the
I can see
OG
that.
bloodline.
Of the OG bloodline, yeah. So it ends up being a 6-on-4. No save for the OG bloodline. Keep Rollins away. That keeps Rollins away.
So again, I'm adding into this, but I agree with a lot of it. But I think you bring out Rock as the fifth member, like mid-match, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But I do think that, because Bronson Reed is on the other team, I do think that you're going to have some interference from Seth, but that's Seth taking care of personal business.
Right. He's not helping the
He's
bloodline.
not helping Roman.
I also do like the Gilbert versus James Ellsworth mania. Like,
I couldn't see where
saw-
that went. Where do I see that? Maybe because it's
I
on my
saw
phone.
I saw a little pop up with Gilbert.
Yeah. I'm here for that. I hope that's what your main event is in Las Vegas.
$15,000 seats to watch that.
Not for Danny.
Not for Danny, but I'm saying for the general audience.
Yeah. Look, you guys got to experience hometown WrestleMania. I did it. Okay.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous, but I love it for you.
Well, guys,
Yeah, I agree.
Guys, I think we're cooking with creative storylines, but guys, let us know what you think in the comments, because I want to hear what your creative stories are. Because this bloodline thing, once it first started, we were kind of like, why? But now that we're putting our thinking caps on, you know what? This might actually cook.
Man.
So,
Mr. Levesque, if you're watching, reach me down there at Geesbach News. I'm always available to help you cook.
And Mr. Levesque, if you're watching, we did see you shake hands and hug our new president, Donald Trump.
We saw
yesterday.
it.
We saw
it.
No getting around it now, buddy.
well, guys, it's going to be a very interesting week. We have a week before Survivor Series, 2 weeks before Survivor Series.
It's next weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 30th, right?
We've got four shows before Survivor Series. 2 Raw and 2 SmackDown.
But usually those go home shows are so boring, so I think this is going to be the meat and potatoes week.
Well,
they're going to be taped too.
They're going to be taped, but we'll have a lot to be thankful for by Survivor Series, I think.
Oh, nice plug for Thanksgiving too, man. You're on a roll today.
I am. So, guys, thanks for joining. Let us know what you think in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we're going to see what happens. So, thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you later.
Yeah.